Hello, BookTube. It's Sunday, and I thought I'd do a video on sort of updates, catch up, and so forth, and a few things that I've received in the post over the past week. I've been absent quite a bit from here for the last while. It's mainly two things: health related, and work, which is taking a lot out of me, not physically, but mentally, and with health issues it just I am just worn out at the day's end of work, and I had a 6 day week last week. I worked from Monday to yesterday, so I have today off, Sunday, which all I've been doing pretty well is resting and a little bit of reading and watching a few things, YouTube wise or on Prime. And but I thought I'd come on and do a little bit. I haven't been reading much at all, just bits and pieces over the last since pretty well July here has been pretty dead for me reading wise, unlike my normal days. So I've been reading little bits and pieces, little essays, little diary entries, articles. But I've started on a book that I got in my last book haul. It's the Inns of Old Suffolk, and I've started reading this, um, very, very slowly, very, very slowly. But it looks quite interesting. It was printed. Well, the full title, I guess. Well, I'll just start at the top here, I guess. The Inns of Old Suffolk and Their Associations, by William Rendell, FRCS, and Philip Norman, FSA. It was published in 1888 by Longmans Green and Company, London and New York. And it's exactly what it says. It's a history, sort of, more or less, and sort of stories related to the Inns of Suffolk, with lots of engravings, which are very, very nice, and drawings. Uh, And yeah, I'm slowly going through this and enjoying it as I go. There's a map of Suffolk. Just did the sort of as a frontispiece, almost just past the frontispiece. But no, yeah, because I've had a long interest in inns. I've mentioned them on a few other videos, and this is a book that I've been wanting for quite a while, but I decided to finally bite the bullet and get it. Um, that was from my last book haul. What I've been getting in the past week, I started my subscription again to the London Review of Books. It's every 2 weeks. It's bi-weekly. Is that right? Well, every 2 weeks anyway. And it's not my favorite of them. I know it's got a high reputation, but I find, in general, there's less in it that I read than others, but it's still of interest. Like the first story here is An Ordinary Woman, a monologue by Alan Bennett, which I haven't actually. This came last week, late in the week. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but like going through, there's a few articles, but they're, as I say, a few. Um, they're not as event like the books picked are generally not as interesting to me as the Times Literary Supplement, which I like much better. Which I got as well on, I think. Well, actually, it came on Wednesday for some reason, but I haven't had a chance to have a close look at it. This is yeah, July 17th. When was the 17th? That would have been Friday, but yeah, I'm sure it came on Wednesday. Um, just checking here. Yeah, that would have been Friday. So this is Fridays, but I'm sure it came Wednesday. Usually I get it on Thursday. But there's a number of interesting things in here. There is an article, it's a freelance article, by William Boyd, The Spies Who Lived Here, How I Found James Bond's Precise Address. William Boyd, as you're sure you're aware, is a prolific author, well known. I've only read one book of his. and I'm sort of hot and cold with it. And I should have looked it up to remember the name, but I can't for the life of me think of it at the moment. But he is I like his writing. Let's put it that way. I wasn't put off by his writing style, so I'll definitely read that article. And I think Steve Donahue will be pleased to see that in the letter section they're continuing with Isaiah Berlin, the sort of controversy or whatever you want to call it is continuing there. And there's one of the other articles here is "Believe What You Like: How We Fit the Facts Around Our Prejudices," and it's a review of a number of books. The science, born not born yesterday, the science of who we trust and what we believe by Hugo Mercer. Knowledge resistance: How We Avoid Insight from Others. Mikhail Klitman. Duped: uh, Truth, Default Theory, and the Social Science of Lying and Deception by Timothy R. Levine. And The Unknowers: The Strategic Ignorance Rules of the World. Lindsay McGoy. So that looks quite interesting. As I say, the Isaiah Berlin letters section, and then this one looks interesting. Goofus and Cocktail Shaker: Remembering the Master of the Bass Saxophone. Russell Davis is the reviewer, and it's the life and music of a jazz rambler. So that looks quite interesting, and there's a number of other ones in here. As I say, the Times Literary Supplement works better for me. There's an article on rereading Virginia Woolf's Orlando. There was something on that looked quite interesting on, this is Raging Across Texas, on first looking into Larry McMurtry's Lonesome Dove. So that could be interesting. And there's a few things on Chinese writing, which could be interesting, and precision and revision essays on the craft of writing. Elizabeth Lowry. That's essays 1 by Lydia Davis. So so there's a few things. But speaking of Chinese, there's a series that I've mentioned before, and I've showed a few. It's by De Gruyter. It's the Library of Chinese Humanities. And it's a series, basically. Let's see if it's the Library of Chinese Humanities presents important works in the pre-modern Chinese cultural tradition in accurate and readable English translation, side by side with a good edition of the original. Initially focusing on writings from Chinese Middle Period, roughly 1st through 13th century CE, AD. The library includes works of poetry, fiction, philosophy, history, and religion. The Library of Chinese Humanities is published in print and open access online, providing an invaluable resource to students, scholars, and readers worldwide. This is probably, there was a set of Dufu poetry, but it's probably the 6th sort of release from them, I think, 6th or 7th. And it's only volume 1 of Wang Wei's poetry. And he lived from 701 to 761 approximately. And this is how it sort of set out. The Chinese characters there on the left-hand side, and then the translation with footnotes on the right side. And I've just been amazed. I haven't read cover to cover everything, but I have been amazed at the quality of writing so early on. And it does, like, sort of the Western poetry sort of pales in comparison to the complexity and the ideas that are done in Chinese. It's quite amazing. But this is volume 1, translated by Paul Rausner. And again, as I say, it's De Gruyter, and it's one of the few occasions that I do pre-order items, and I pre-order everything that comes out. And I pre-ordered this like over a year ago, and then I sort of forgot about that when it was due. There might be another one due in September, I think, or is it next year? I'm not sure. The other thing that came in the post is one of my favorite journals. This is a blank one. It's called Untitled, but it's the London magazine. It's been going since 1700s, basically, with obviously changes to it. But this is a special sort of edition to it, and it's got a um, it's a collection of short stories, essays, book reviews, poetry, everything, and I really really like it. Um, it's not cover to cover. I read it. I spot read items, and I have to sort of renew my subscription to it, and I keep saying that, but I've yet to get around to it. So, but yeah, no, this is always a keeper for me. Um, what's the other thing? Yeah, the other book is that I pre-ordered is the Anton Chekhov 52 Stories, translated by Richard Pervera and Larissa Volokowski. Volokowski, I guess it is. It's writings from 1883 to 1898. And 52 stories. I sort of been looking forward for this. I did pre-order this as well when I saw it on Steve Donahue's channel when he got it. It must have been probably was earlier this year, I think. It's got notes to it as well. It's just over 500 pages, and surprisingly, it is quite heavy for a Penguin book. I think it's not sewn, but it does have. If you can see in there, I don't know if you can, but there is a ribbon at the top and the bottom, a little ribbon at the head and heel of the spine, which is a little unusual. But it is unusually heavy for a Penguin book. So the paper is actually it's quite thick. Yeah, it's quite thick paper. But yeah, I look forward to dipping into that again. I will be dipping into it, reading stories here and there. And the last thing that came in the post, sort of came today, was something I pre-ordered. It's not particularly book, but it is book related. It's a DVD or a Blu-ray set. It's an adaptation of Edgar Allan Poe's, like it was Bela Lugosi, Murders in the Rue Morgue, The Black Cat, and The Raven. It's by Eureka. It's the Masters of Cinema series, which is very good. This has a little slipcase, or a slip sleeve, I guess you would say. And there you see the covers in the back. It's two Blu-rays, and it says high definition Blu-ray. It's got audio commentaries on Murders of the Rue Morgue by Gregory William Mank. The Black Cat audio commentary by Gregory William Mank again, and the Raven commentary by Gary D. Rhodes. And there's another commentary by looks of it on the Raven by Sam Dagan. And there's a bunch of other little shorts and stuff on Poe and some of the films. And there's a booklet to it, which I always enjoy very much so, because there's little essays in here. Let's see, what's in this one? This is a new essay, Bela Lugosi in the Mask of the Mad Doctor. These are Universal Horror ones, but they're ones that you normally don't see. They're quite interesting visually and everything. Well, as you can see, there's interesting shadow effects and everything. That's a still from the film. So they're visually stunning and interesting. Not really representative of the story so much, but they're interesting in their own right. But going on here, that's quite a long essay on this. And then there's another new one, full of fiendish and diabolical doings, making and censoring the Black Cat and the Raven. Yeah, because there's some interesting scenes in it that I was surprised to actually see. So I think it was in the The Raven, maybe it is. But yeah, it's a few years since I've seen it last. But let me see, what else is there in here? Usually they have a reprint of something like an old review. This is Rearranging Murders of the Rue Morgue. It looks like it's an excerpt from book 1990, McFarlane on Bela Karloff and Lugosi by McFarlane Publishers, Gregory William Mank. So there's an excerpt from that. Let me see. There's got to be. There usually is an article or a review. Don't really see it. Yeah, maybe not in this one, but a lot of times they do, which is very nice. They include a contemporary review of the film from the period or films. So that's always quite nice at times. But yeah, no, that's sort of what's been happening. And I keep trying to want to make more videos, but it just sort of the time and energy sort of escapes me. I have I think it's called the Summer School book tag that Steve Donahue tagged me in a couple weeks ago. I'll try to get that done. And what I'll probably do is do it either later today, this evening, or tomorrow, and I'll upload it on Tuesday for Tag Tuesday. Even though it's not quite, but I'll upload it for that day. There was a lot of interesting questions there, so it'll be fun doing. So anyway, thank you for all that. I'm getting the new subscribers, everybody who stuck around while I'm not making videos, and everybody who comments. I've been watching as many videos as I can, so I do miss sometimes somebody's video when there's a lot that are out there and I get a bit behind. But I hope everybody's doing well, and I will see you next time, BookTube. Take care.